Bloodborne is full of helpful NPCs, so naturally I decided to murder every single one of them. Welcome to the Psycho Run, I'm StreamerMind, and we're about to follow every NPC questline, then yeet them straight back to their maker, Miyazaki-san. Rules of the run are simple. I can use whatever build I want, as long as it lets us go on a full-blown death rampage through the streets of Yharnam, massacring its innocent inhabitants. Some NPCs, such as the little girl and her sister, don't really show up, but let's be honest, their fate is worse than whatever I could do to them anyways. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments who your favorite friendly NPC is and why, and if you enjoy this kind of content, hit subscribe. It costs nothing, unlike my therapy bills. Alright, now that we've got all of that out of the way, let's begin. This is Psycho, a man hunted by his, let's call them, very intense flashbacks from his glory days in Vietnam. After spending way too long sculpting the most absurdly handsome man the character creator has ever seen, we're finally ready to stumble our way into Yharnam. We wake up on our operating table fresh as ever, ready to bring chaos to town. Right up to the lamp, we can speak to the first friendly NPC of the game, Gilbert. And just like us, he's a foreigner who helps us the more we progress through the game. He also drops some lore, but I don't really have enough points in my intelligence for that, so go watch a Bati video if you're into that kind of stuff.
You are gay.
I then got drunk, passed out, and woke up in a dreamlike place with my left kidney missing. We are going to pick the deadliest weapon now, which is obviously the threaded cane. I picked up the pistol and started running around Yharnam, grabbing blood shards and talking to literally everyone in town, desperately trying to make some friends.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Yeah, some people were definitely nicer than others. I grabbed a few oil urns to make the cleric beast a bit less of a nightmare, and I made sure to kill every enemy in sight to farm echoes. Sorry guys, it's nothing personal, I'm broke. Got a couple of lucky drops from the good boys on the bridge, talked to a few more, very mentally stable Yharnam residents.
Give your meat a good old rub. That's it. Nice and hot. Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
And then headed down into the sewers. That's where I got absolutely swarmed by rats and died a horrible squeaky death. But don't worry, I got my revenge when I went back to recover my souls. Then I met a little girl and promised I'd find her mother and save her before sending her to Epstein Island. In return, she gave me an iPod, so now I can listen to the Ludwig theme over and over again. Next, I saved an old hag from a very enthusiastic dog, and she actually thanked me, which is a rare thing in London, so I'll take the win. And right next to her, I stumbled upon Eileen, chilling.
A hunter must hunt.
She gifted me the best gesture in the entire game and a handful of homeward boners. Honestly, everyone here is being so generous, handing out free stuff left and right. I can't wait to repair their kindness by absolutely slaughtering every single one of them. Also, seriously, what the fuck is this guy doing? Once I had everything I needed, I upgraded my trusty Stick of Death to +2 and then did the same with the threaded cane. Bought some Molotovs, inflated my blow-up doll to sharpen my skills, wink wink, and boom, we're now ready for the cleric beast. After that, I talked to Gilbert again, then headed out to find the little girl's mother, who had, unfortunately, been murdered by her husband.
Bitch, this chicken is cold!
Ah yes, classic traditional family values. Don't worry lady, I will avenge you. Second try went way better. I even managed to kill him mid-transition, which led to a pretty hilarious moment. I picked up the red ribbon, grabbed the blood gem workshop tool, and then realized I completely forgot to talk to Józefka. So I took care of that, went back to the little girl, and gave her what was left of her mother.
Why are you crying?
And just to make the whole situation emotionally way worse, I stole her dad's clothes and left her there crying. The true hero of Yharnam, everybody. Now that we've made it to the cathedral ward, we can finally talk to the chapel dweller.
I have crippling depression.
And start our new side hustle, saving people. I checked in with Gilbert again and he handed me a flamethrower. What the hell do I have to do with this? This is absolutely useless. I sent the old lady to the chapel, did my good deed for the day, and then immediately found out that the little girl had been eaten by a giant pig because of my actions. Very wholesome. 10 out of 10 family reunion.
What is the best Dark Souls game?
Bearer, seek, lest.
Meanwhile, I looted everything inside and erased everyone who looked at me funny. Eventually, I reached Old Yarnum. I leveled up my skill a bit, unlocked a shortcut, and then I got hugged by the best girl in the whole game. On my second attempt, I put in actual effort, using blood cocktails and the poison resistance from Gascoigne's drip, and finally settled my differences with BSB. I said hi to Jura, but he wasn't really in the mood. Poor guy, he just wanted the beast to live in peace. Well, peace was never an option. I took his badge, deleted this absolute menace for some bone marrow ashes, and grabbed the twin blood shards on my way to the secret workshop. Picked up the swag and then descended the whole structure very carefully. I hate this game. I killed a werewolf holding the Beastmark rune and made my way back to the cathedral ward. Opening up the ward progresses Eileen's quest. She warns us not to return to Daddy G's arena because a mad hunter is lurking there. Little does she know, she's talking to the craziest hunter of them all. I then went around talking to the rest of Yarnum's very stable civilians. Starting with the skeptical man, basically that drunk uncle at family dinners who won't stop ranting about lizard people controlling the government. Naturally, he didn't believe a single word I said. Then I met Ariana, who works in, let's call it, the oldest profession in the world. I sent her to the chapel so we could interact later in the run, and she even asked me if I'd still take her blood despite her job.
But would you even take a horse blood?
Honestly, lady, I would have preferred something more spicier, like, I don't know, toe picks or something, but hey. Free buffs are free buffs. After that, I teamed up with Eileen to take down Henrik, and she was genuinely impressed, gave me another gesture and moonwalked out of the area while aura farming like an absolute queen. Next, I rescued Adela from Portland and sent her to the chapel too. Then I headed over to Hemwick. Here, I picked up all the twin shards I could find before punching 2 witches into the afterlife. The second one tried to fight back, but come on, it was adorable. I grabbed the rune workshop tool and then farmed the remaining twin shards from the jailers in Yahar Ghul. After that, I made my way to the furry lover Amelia. And let me tell you, the threaded cane absolutely shreds this boss into tiny pieces. And this is without pellets. By this point, I had almost 40 skills, but that wasn't enough. I wanted more. So before venturing anywhere else, I went back to talk to the skeptical man again. I told him to go to Yuzefka's clinic because this guy always does the exact opposite of what you tell him. Which means he'll actually go to the chapel and be fine. Reverse psychology always works, guys, remember that. Once I got to the Forbidden Woods, I found another friendly NPC to talk to.
I am Volta, Master of the League.
Sorry, Walter, but this is just good business. His friend? Yeah, he met the same fate. Then I talked to a guy I really liked, generally a cool dude, but I also knew he was a homicidal maniac who would absolutely ruin my genocidal master plan later on, and we cannot have that. So I sent him to the clinic to receive a fate worse than death.
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially him.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It was a Jewish doctor.
In order to become more powerful, I traveled into the chalices, killed the undead giant, killed the 3 Alabama inbreds for the root Thumeru chalice, searched this glyph, and started farming radios from Diabetes McGee over here. And him being a big guy also rewarded me with some fat souls. After farming for a good bit, I finally found 2 radio 6s and used all of those echoes to level up. For the triangular gem, I searched up for this glyph, killed the brain sucker on the first layer, and killed the 3 guardians on the second one for a pretty powerful gem. Now that the whole gem business was taken care of, I went to talk to Gilbert one more time. But unfortunately, my man here was not doing that great.
Coach, I've got AIDS.
Wrong. You're HIV positive. Big difference. It could be years before you even get sick.
I picked up the Pain Hurt summons, took out Yuzefka and the Beggar, crossing 2 more NPCs off of our growing hit list. And finally, I could talk to Alfred now.
I eat dick all day long.
Naturally, I befriended him and he rewarded me with fire, which is honestly the best gift anyone in Yharnam can give you. Thanks, man. I played some Bloodborne card at my cousin's house back in Japan on his PS7, and then I arrived in Soviet Russia, where I immediately started looting everything in sight. Because in Soviet Russia, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is also mine. Simple economics. I grabbed all the blood chunks I could find, then picked up the DLC key. DLC time. Here we can remove another friendly NPC from the census, a guy named Simon. Poor soul, he thought we were stuck in a nightmare, but in reality, the nightmare is stuck in here with me. I scooped up all of the chunks lying around, upgraded my weapon to +8, and returned to Russia to fight Logarius, who instantly reminded me why I hate fighting Logarius. Luckily, I was insanely overpowered by this point and just brute forced my way through. Totally worth it because I got a very fashionable hat out of the deal. I pledged allegiance to the Queen.
Are you sure you want me to remove my socks? My feet must be incredibly foul. Oh, you actually prefer them when they are stinky?
Yes, my queen.
She has no idea this decision directly leads to her miserable demise. I picked up the closed summons and gave them to Alfred, and when I came back, let's just say I walked into a scene that was horrifying, unsettling, and somehow very wholesome. And then I absolutely betrayed and literally backstabbed Alfred, officially ending his questline in the most disrespectful way possible. After topping up my health bar, it was time to push the story forward. The Shadows of Yharnam went down first try in under a minute. Before fighting Rom, I ran back to Old Yharnam to pick up some beast blood pellets, deleted the Miklesh wannabe, and then proceeded to commit some very effective elderly abuse. Poor Rom didn't stand a chance. She tried turning me into mashed potato after she teleported, but a few more hits were enough to send her straight back to the Great Ones. After asking directions from this hot goth lady and witnessing the rise of the blood moon, I woke up in Yahar Ghul, the place where happiness goes to die. This is a major turning point for a bunch of NPC questlines. So I checked in on Ariana, who shockingly wasn't feeling too great. She definitely picked up some weird STD along the way. Good thing I never used her blood. I also spoke to Adela, but she immediately started laughing at the size of my cane. Listen, Adela, it's not about how big it is, it's about how many bosses it deletes, okay? On my way to the cathedral, I found a wounded Eileen.
I'm just going to have a short rest.
Seems like a skill issue to me.
So I marched inside and confronted the hunter who did that to her. Hey, nobody kills my friends but me, you hear me? Once her quest was wrapped up, she handed me over her badge and said she was retiring. Yeah, not on my watch.
As I said, skill issue.
Now that Eileen was taken care of, I could finally explore the rest of Yahar Ghul, making sure to grab every blood chunk I saw because we are about to become unstoppable. I lured the claw-marked rune hunter towards the lamp and... Sorry, what I meant was I lured him to the entrance before the lamp and absolutely chased his ass through the wall like a true professional. Broke my weapon in the process. I got my hands on the claw-marked rune, giving us a nice 20% visceral attack boost. And since I was already in the neighborhood, I also deleted Carl for infinite bold papers. I picked up some new drip, continued my adventure, and then put poor Gilbert out of his misery after he transformed into a beast. He dropped a 10% claw-mark rune, which stacks with the one I just gotten, giving me a juicy 30% visceral damage increase overall. Now we're cooking. Now that our build is almost complete, we can finally push deeper into the DLC. Ludwig is obviously going to be a first try. Alright, second try.
Marika's tits.
With the British horse finally put down, I went back to Lawrence and grabbed the elevator key. Then, I easily deleted the hunters waiting for me. Take that, you filthy casual. Next up, it's you, madame. Wait, you're not dead?
NANI?
I took my revenge and made it to the streets of LA, where an entire crowd of extremely motivated crackheads tried to jump me. I hate this room, by the way, and I'll forever hate Miyazaki for creating it. Inside the labs, there are a few NPCs we can take care of. Completing Adeline's quest isn't required for this run, so I gave her the stick. Then I cleaned up the rest of the recovering addicts in the area. Buddy, what exactly are you doing up there?
What are you looking at, fuckface?
Then I walked into this dark room, and killing these poor patients honestly made me feel like a hero for once. Guys, am I truly the bad guy? Well, knowing how this video ends, yeah, I'm absolutely the bad guy. The living failures. Finally, I'm reunited with my people. But since this story is a tragedy, I have to slaughter every single last one of you. I used the respawning failure cheese to chunk down their health, making this fight even easier than usual. Alright, Maria, time to get freaky. Oh, Maria, you know exactly how to humble me. Not my cleanest fight, but with Maria, things always tend to get a little messy. After transforming my body into the letter A, I reached the lamp in a fishing hamlet and grabbed the key to the cell of our next target.
Well, well, look who's here. Are you going to kill me?
Yes. I went back to the lab and grabbed the key to open Yamamura's cell, and after listening to him cry like a little baby, I poked him with my stick and stole his clothes. Then I continued my journey through the fishing hamlet, unlocked the shortcut, and got ready to fight the baby himself. After a few beautifully disastrous attempts, this is what the fight looked like. With the DLC all done, I returned to Yahar Ghul to finish what we started, wiping out every last innocent life form in this place. With our current power level, the One Reborn basically stagger-locked himself into oblivion. I then proceeded to give Mikolash a handjob. I befriended good old Patches in the academy and then immediately betrayed him in cold blood. Then I headed to Mensis, barely survived long enough to reach the elevator, and finally met the master of the dweebs himself, Mikolash, the incel lord.
I have autism.
Phase 1, absolutely demolished. Then I cheesed them with poison knives from the balcony because honor is for losers, and we are winners. And now finally I could fulfill my destiny and bring despair to every troubled soul left in Yharnam. I followed Ariana's bloodstains all the way back to the sewers, where I found her crying because she had just given birth to the actual Antichrist.
I'm a dirty, dirty girl.
Yeah, that's what happens when you trust every random man in Yharnam, lady. I freed her from her suffering and she dropped her very fragrant shoes. Then I eliminated her tiny nightmare child and picked up another umbilical cord, closing out this questline for good. Before continuing my murder spree, I cleaned house by absolutely melting the Smurfs and then snapped the Ebrietta's fight in half, one of the most satisfying boss deletes of the run. You can revive the Painhurt's queen here, but if you do, she becomes immortal, so don't do it because it would fail your run. I grabbed the blood rock and then erased the wet nurse from existence. The poor thing didn't even get to start her nightmare phase. I feel bad now. It was time for the last survivors to be reunited with their maker. Damn, now I know how Anakin must have felt when he walked into that room full of younglings. And now, the final friendly NPC awaited us in the back of the hunter's dream, standing in that beautiful flower field. I refused his offer, and the battle to decide who the real psychopath of Yharnam finally began. Well, here it is, guys. We've officially wiped out every single decent human being left in this Forsaken game. Honestly, most of them were headed towards a fate worse than death anyways, so in a twisted way, we might actually be the anti-hero of Yharnam. A very, very questionable anti-hero. Alright guys, let me know down below what's your favorite NPC questline and which character do you absolutely despise. Alright folks, that's all I've got for today. Consider subscribing and doing all that YouTube jazz, and next time we're diving into Dark Souls 2. Until then, have a good one, and I will see you in the next video.